Hello everyone, this is Mr. Shopjani with some Netflix recommendations of movies which are going to leave soon, which are going to leave by September 30. So I will be going ahead and telling you a little bit about certain movies which you can watch, which if you feel like watching, and I love them, and I'll tell you the reasons why also, because I do believe that certain perceptions won't match with mine. So I will tell you the reason why I feel you should watch these movies, and before they leave Netflix, and you decide for yourselves whether you should go ahead and watch it, because I feel right now entertainment is like an investment, and I always feel it is a little bit like S.T. Coleridge's poem "Rime of the Ancient Mariner," wherein he said, "Water, water everywhere, nor the boats did shrink. Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink." So it's a little bit like Netflix. We've got so many things to choose from that eventually we don't even watch something because we spend 30, 45 minutes, 1 hour trying to decide what we should watch. So this is a humble attempt to try and help you all to watch certain movies before they disappear from Netflix on September 30. I hope you like my recommendations. If you do enjoy watching them, I would request you to go ahead and also uh, subscribe to my channel, like my channel, and share my videos. It would be great. So the first movie which I'm recommending is it's a slasher, and it's this movie. It's Friday the 13th, and this is the 2009 Friday the 13th. So this was essentially the reboot of Friday the 13th in 2009, and it has a very awful Rotten Tomato score. But as a horror fan, I'll tell you, this reboot was super awesome and super fun, because they put Jason back in the woods where he belonged, and instead of making him a caricature, putting him in space, putting him in city and all that, they put him back where he belonged and made it visceral. And the reason why I really enjoyed watching the 2009 Friday the 13th is because number one, the kills were super. The kills of each and every character was super, and you really get invested in those kills, and the way Jason takes them out is truly it. They really worked on those kills, and any horror fan who loves Jason, who loves slashers, to us the kills are very important. It has to be innovative, it has to be unique, it has to have a gut wrenching effect, it has to be visceral. So they really concentrated on the kills, and they used some incredible practical effects on the kills instead of the special effects kills which slowly horror movies were disintegrating into. It was during this cusp only, 2008 2009, we people were starting to use a lot of special effects which used to go ahead and dilute these kills by these boogeymen. So in that respect, in Friday the 13th, the 2009 version, Marcus Nispel did a magnificent job, and they really created some incredible kills. And one of the most famous kills was actually Jason using the machete on a boy and it was literally done with the boy there. So they used a kind of a special effect wherein the machete was put in with a side corner of his face. So it was not a kind of a dummy head or anything. So they really worked on those skills, and it was a massive hit, by the way. Friday the 13th, the 2009 version, was a massive hit. It was made probably at a shoestring budget of $19 million, which for a horror movie is not that much, and it went on to cross over $90 million. So I would recommend this movie. And there was another interesting part of Friday the 13th was that in all Friday the 13th movies, Jason comes across as a very slow moving boogeyman who chases the the victims. So, it's more like Jason bearing down on them, but he slowly walks. So, if you have got a Linford Christie trying to run away from Jason, Jason does not have a chance. But here in Friday the 13th, the 2009 version, Jason ran after the victims. That was a major big plus. It kind of, all horror aficionados like us, we were just it's just like, wow, Jason is running. He's running after the victims. He's more athletic. He's more lethal, and this was a perfect reboot. Unfortunately, there no sequel happened. But if you really want to watch a really good slasher, you can give this a try. Friday the 13th, 2009 version. It's leaving on September 30. That means it's just around the corner. So you've got 1 week to watch it. Please watch it. You will really enjoy this movie a lot if you are a slasher fan. Now, if you're not a horror fan, if you don't like horror, if you don't like blood, you don't like gore, you don't like Jason, don't go ahead and watch it. Please, I'm not recommending this movie for you or the kids or anybody like that. But if you love horror, if you love slashers, if you love Jason, if you love Boogeyman, then if you have missed Friday the 13th, the reboot, please do watch it, because it is a very underrated gem. It's an underrated gem of a horror movie, which I feel it's really not appreciated as much nowadays. But during in 2009 when I watched it, I really felt it was a brilliant movie. So do watch it. It's leaving soon. So do watch Friday the 13th. Yes, do watch Friday the 13th. Okay, go back to Crystal Lake. Have a great gory time, and you will just enjoy it. It's a fabulous slasher movie, fabulous boogeyman slasher movie, fabulous. Watch it before it leaves on September 30th. Okay, now what's the next movie which I'm recommending? The next movie which I'm recommending is this one. uh, just give me a minute, let me just go ahead and yep, this is the movie which I'm recommending. This is the one. Along Came a Spider. Again, this is a really good movie. This is a really good Alex Cross movie. We've all heard about Kiss the Girls, but we tend to forget about Along Came a Spider, which was the second movie after Kiss the Girls, and it has an excellent plot. You have a really twisted ending for the climax. It has one of the it has a fabulous twist at the end. Yes, many people might say that they could guess it, but I would say that you should just watch it, and you will really enjoy it. You will really enjoy it. Basically, Alex Cross teams up with a disgraced Secret Service agent to find a senator's daughter who is abducted from an exclusive prep school, and it is a very very interesting detective story, along with a very twisted climax. And Morgan Freeman is just at the top of his game here in Along Came a Spider. So if you haven't watched Along Came a Spider, I would say I wouldn't praise it enough. It is that good a movie. So in fact, certain times I feel for an Alex Cross movie, should I put Along Came a Spider at the top and then Kiss the Girls? But then, of course, Kiss the Girls has Ashley Judd, and it has an incredible serial killer with. It has a different feel to it, and uh, I it's a little difficult, but I love the story of Along Came a Spider, because the story of Along Came a Spider was much. It was very engaging and interesting with a very twisted climax. So please do watch Along Came a Spider. Again, Along Came a Spider is also leaving us on September 30. So please watch it. I think you will enjoy it a lot. So finally, so these two movies I have already told you, Friday the 13th and Along Came a Spider, because these two movies you should try and watch, because you should not try and watch recently added movies. Everybody's saying recently added Jane Jan, this and that. I'm not saying don't watch it. Try and watch the movies which are leaving us soon. you know and try and watch original movies. I don't like people gonna copying things and just putting it in. I don't find it interesting. Why do people copy movies and stories and everything, and just it's like a copy paste and then they put it there. Okay. Now, the next movie which I'm saying is possibly one of my favorite movies, and if you haven't watched it, and this is a movie which I would definitely recommend to all youngsters, I mean to say, all the young folks, even though it is a little adultish, but I still remember reading this Stephen King novel when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I'm on the fence with this story or movie. I feel that it is something which you should make young kids watch, because it makes them realize a lot about life and adulthood. And to me, this is one of the best Stephen King adaptations ever. I would say this is one of his best novels also. I would say Stand By Me is definitely Stephen King's best novel. I would put Cujo, Stand By Me, these novels at the top of the list. But this movie, I would say this is one of the best adaptations of a Stephen King novel. And this is one movie you could probably make your kid watch also. I would say maybe 9 to 10 years old, because then he'll understand exactly what this means. And it is a lovely movie which talks about adulthood, friendship, responsibilities, growing up. And it's like, basically Stand By Me was the offshoot from which I felt Losers Club evolved, from where we got it. So if you really want to watch a movie which is very moving, and the best one of the best Stephen King adaptations with not too much of horror or gore or violence, then please watch this movie. Please watch Stand By Me. This is also leaving in September 30. This is also a brilliant movie, and I wouldn't recommend it enough. Stand By Me is again a kind of a classic which I would put on the same pedestal, or even little lower, or maybe there, as Redemption, because Shawshank Redemption is Shawshank Redemption, but people haven't watched Stand By Me as many people who have watched Shawshank Redemption. So redeem yourself and watch Stand By Me. It is an excellent movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the best Stephen King adaptations. Don't miss it before it leaves us. Now, finally, I am going to recommend the last one, which uh, just give me a minute. Uh, uh, the last one, I'll recommend one last movie, because I just watched it right now, and I mean to say I just saw it right now, but I had kept it on the list, but I kind of I'm just forgetting the name. So I'll just try and uh, quickly find it, and I'll just recommend it. And I'll also recommend, I'll also talk about one movie you should avoid. Yes, this is the one. Now, this is extreme rough horror for people who really want to watch a very extreme kind of a horror movie, wherein which really disturbs you, and that is The Witch. This is also leaving on September 30, but if you are really want to watch a horror which is psychological, which is disturbing, which is unnerving, then you can watch The Witch. The Witch is one of the recent horror classics which many people may not have watched. These came at a time when probably horror movies was going through a lull, and the Witch is one of them. It was released in 2015, and it is again a very disturbing psychological movie which you can watch. But this is not a kind of a movie which you will. I'll be frank with you. After watching The Witch, you might be depressed, or you might feel little sick and sad. But this is what true horror is. So if that is your kind of poison, you want to really watch a horror movie worth its salt, then please watch The Witch. This is also an amazing horror movie which will really disturb you. That kind of a horror movie. So The Witch is again one more horror movie which will leave very soon in September 30. So you can go ahead and watch that. So these are the four movies which I have recommended. One is Along Came a Spider, The Witch, Stand By Me, and of course the first one which I talked about was there also, which I said Friday the 13th. So please watch these four movies. And the last movie which I am telling you all to avoid, I should not say this, but then it's like, since I talked a lot about the movies which we should watch, please don't watch this movie, Separation. I'm telling you, this is one of the worst horror movies I've watched, and if I could actually buy that time back with a time machine, I would have probably bought it back. It is that, it is possibly an awful horror movie. You can actually watch it as a film student to know exactly what not to do with horror movies. So don't watch Separation. Separation is really like it's one of those pit horror movies. It has nothing going. Poor direction, poor writing. Everything is just, sorry to use the word, sucks. So that's it. So bye from Frogo also. Frog's words. He's saying bye to you all. Go through my recommendations for these movies which are going to disappear very soon on September 30. And of course, I chose four good movies for you and one movie I told you all to avoid. So please go ahead, enjoy on Netflix. I will come with more recommendations from Netflix. This is Mr. Shopjani signing off. Bye. Take care.